To date, I have dined at 34 different Michelin star restaurants, including 8 with 3 stars. My name is Brenda, and I'm the owner and editor of the Whet Palette. The Michelin Guide is printed in New York City, Chicago, San Francisco wine country, and Washington, D.C. Miami does not have a printed guide just yet. In order for a city to have a Michelin-starred restaurant, first there needs to be a guide printed here.
Time out. What is a Michelin Guide and why is it important? Well, if the name Michelin makes you think of the tire company, it's most likely because they are one and the same. So what could the largest tire company on earth have in common with the most prestigious restaurant rating system? Andre and Edward Michelin started the Michelin Guide in the year 1900, 11 years after they got into the tire business in France. Why, you might ask? Well, they figured if they produced a guide for hotels and restaurants, then the few people with cars at the time would go out of their way to drive to them, eventually wasting their tires and forcing them to buy more. Sounds a bit far-fetched, but it worked. And one could argue it is one of the greatest marketing campaigns of the century. Michelin has built a reputation of unimaginable secrecy. The inspectors they hire to rate these restaurants are said to be so anonymous that their own family members are unaware of their professions.
No one knows who they are. No one. They come, they eat, they go.
Every year, chefs work day and night, perfecting their craft in hopes to not only earn 1, 2, or 3 stars, but maintaining the ones they have.
To get you 1 Michelin star, you have to be like Luke Skywalker, okay? To get 2, you have to be whoever Alec Guinness was. But if you manage to get 3, you're Yoda.
So how important is this little red book? Well, here's a clip of Chef Gordon Ramsay when he found out that his restaurant had just lost 2 stars.
We have talented chefs, we have incredible restaurants. I think we're definitely on the map as a culinary destination. Having a Michelin Guide would help that because now the whole world would know exactly where to go and which restaurants would qualify there, which is a really tough question to answer. I've lost count of all the accolades that Chef Bradley Kilgore has been collecting. Attention on him is actually attention for South Florida, so he's bringing the right amount of attention to our city. When I heard he was opening his restaurant Alter, definitely waited around for that, and it has not disappointed.
I'm here at Brad Kilgore in Wynwood. Got a restaurant Alter. And Alter started because I wanted to do really great food. And I hate the term fine dining, but when people think of food that's like well articulated and executed, they think fine dining. But Alter is supposed to be basically the antithesis, you know, to alter your perspective on fine dining. So we're in a warehouse. I mean, it really is just a warehouse with a stove inside, you know, a few tables. And we want you to be comfortable. You know, you can wear flip-flops and shorts and still come in and get a chef tasting menu. When we decided to move down to Miami, I was really looking at the city itself, and it's a really young city if you think about it. You know, it's just now getting its 2nd and 3rd generation Miamians. And look at downtown, it's blowing up and all over the scene outside of South Beach. I really felt like Miami had a lot to give and a lot to grow, and I got here about 6 years ago, and it's just changed so much since I've gotten here. Not only just the food scene, but the city itself, the culture, and even Wynwood, the neighborhood where Alter is, like barely existed that 6 years ago. People have always been battling whether food is art or being a chef is an artist. I still truly believe it is a craft. You know, it's something you're working with your hands. The difference between an artist and a chef is really that you're feeding somebody, and it's the hospitality aspect. And you know, they say we're in the business of hospitality and the business of food second. And so it still needs to be comforting, and it still needs to bring joy and excitement, but then making it look nice and be fun is secondary to flavor and comfortability. I mean, even the thought of Michelin possibly having a presence in Miami or South Florida is extremely exciting. I mean, it's not going to change the reason why we wake up every morning, but in a way, for chefs like me and chefs like we have here tonight that is why we wake up in the morning. You know, it's like an accreditation for your hard work. Miami currently doesn't have the Michelin Guide, you know, so we've had the opportunity the last couple of days to work with Michelin and invite 2 chefs from Chicago, Noah Sandoval from Oriole, he has 2 Michelin stars, and John Shields from Smith, who also has a Michelin star. So those guys in their opening years received Michelin stars, which is just absolutely amazing and accreditation of their hard work. And thinking about the opportunity maybe somewhere down the line that chefs in Florida and chefs in Miami could earn that too, I think it'll really force and feed the local industry, and everyone they'll want to get a Michelin star. Chefs will want that, you know, they'll want to work towards it, so they'll be pushing themselves, pushing the concepts of the restaurant, pushing the food themselves. Sometimes you can bring people into another time in their life by evoking memories and using things maybe from their childhood or other aspects where you can tie in the presentation to look like something but it tastes like something else, you know, and really start messing with the mind and bringing it more than just food on a plate. Ghetto funk with the rhythm that don't stop, 'cause the squad has got to be short shot.